This is the story of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, a chaotic, soulful, and relentlessly funky journey through 4 decades of rock and roll. It's a tale of brotherhood, loss, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of the perfect groove. It all started not as a band, but as an explosion of pure energy at Fairfax High School in Los Angeles. Anthony Kiedis and Michael Flea Balzari were 2 inseparable forces, united by a shared love of punk, funk, and getting into trouble. Joined by guitarist Hill Slovak and drummer Jack Irons, they played a one-off gig as Tony Flo and the miraculously majestic Masters of Mayhem. The energy in the room was Electrica Bizarra, incredible mix of spoken word, slap bass thunder, and raw punk aggression. The club owner immediately invited them back. They changed their name to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Their sound was like nothing else. P-funk grooves, punk rock power, and Kiedis' rapid-fire vocals. Their live shows, often featuring little more than tube socks, became legendary for their wild, untamed spectacle. But when it came time to record their first album, Hillel and Jack had other commitments. So Kiedis and Flea recruited drummer Cliff Martinez and guitarist Jack Sherman. The result was their 1984 self-titled debut, produced by Andy Gill of Gang of Four. The album struggled to capture their live ferocity. It was a shaky, funk-light start that didn't make a big splash, but it put their name on the map. Soon after, Hillel Slovak and Jack Irons returned, finally solidifying the original lineup. The band then did something brilliant. They got funk legend George Clinton to produce their second album, Freaky Styly. Under Clinton's guidance, their funk foundation was amplified. The album was looser, wilder, and more authentically them. It still wasn't a massive commercial hit, but critics loved it, and it cemented their reputation as a powerhouse touring act. For their third album, The Uplift Mofo Party Plan, they hired producer Michael Beinhorn, who pushed them toward a heavier rock sound. This was the creative breakthrough they needed. It was the first time their funk and rock elements truly came together, and it finally landed them on the Billboard 200 chart. They were building momentum, one blistering show at a time. But a darkness had been creeping in. Both Kiedis and Slovak were battling severe drug addiction. Then, in 1988, tragedy struck. Hillel Slovak died of a heroin overdose. The loss shattered the band. Jack Irons, unable to cope with his friends, death, and the band's chaotic environment, quit. The Chili Peppers were left with just Kiedis and Flea. Devastated and at a crossroads, Kiedis and Flea vowed to continue, fueled by Hillel's memory and a desire to channel their pain into music. They began to rebuild. After a brief stint with drummer D.H. Peligro, they auditioned a promising teenage guitarist Joan Frusciante. Frusciante was a massive fan of the band, and his unique, melodic, and punk style meshed perfectly with Flea's bass lines. The final piece of the puzzle was drummer Chad Smith, a powerful percussionist with a no-nonsense attitude. This new lineup, Kiedis, Flea, Frusciante, and Smith, would become the most successful version of the band. Their first album together, 1989's Mother's Milk, marked their commercial breakthrough. It was an explosive, highly polished mix of funk rock. Frusciante's raw energy revitalized their sound. The album's cover of Stevie Wonder's Higher Ground became a massive hit, and the heartfelt tribute to Hillel, Knock Me Down, showed their growing emotional depth. Mother's Milk went platinum, finally bringing the band mainstream success and positioning them as leaders of the burgeoning alternative rock scene. For their next album, the band wanted a change. They hired legendary producer Rick Rubin and moved into a supposedly haunted mansion in Laurel Canyon to record. This unique setting fostered an environment of immense creativity. The result was Blood Sugar Sex Magic, a 1991 masterpiece that redefined both the band and alternative rock. Rubin stripped away the heavy metal polish of their previous album, allowing the raw, dynamic interplay between the 4 musicians to shine. The album was a vast emotional landscape, moving seamlessly from the slithering funk of Suck My Kiss to melodic introspection. The major hits were undeniable. Give It Away became their first Grammy-winning anthem, an irresistible, chaotic groove. But the album's most profound moment was Under the Bridge, a somber, acoustic ballad about Kiedis' struggles with addiction and loneliness. It showcased a vulnerability the band had never explored before. It soared to number 2 on the Billboard charts and became a global phenomenon, catapulting the Chili Peppers to The world tour that followed was a dizzying ascent. They were everywhere, but the pressure and rapid fame proved too much for John Frusciante. Feeling suffocated by the band's massive success, he abruptly quit mid-tour in 1992, the band reeling again. continued touring with replacement guitarist Eric Marshall before settling on former Jane's Addiction guitarist Dave Navarro. This marked a distinct shift in sound. Navarro's style was heavier, more psychedelic, and less funk-driven. Their 1995 album, One Hot Minute, was a darker, more brooding affair. It reflected Kiedis' relapse into addiction and the band's emotional turmoil. Despite selling well and featuring the massive hit ballad My Friends, the album was seen as a creative disappointment compared to its predecessor. The chemistry with Navarro never fully clicked. By 1998, he was out of the band, the Chili Peppers were adrift, and Flea was even contemplating quitting. He realized the only way forward was to reconcile with the past. In 1998, after years of severe addiction and isolation, John Frusciante got clean and rejoined the band. The original Magik of the Kiedis Flea Frusciante and Smith lineup was instantly They went back to Rick Rubin and began work on their defining comeback album, 1999's Californication. This album was a true rebirth. The songs were more melodic, atmospheric, and emotionally mature than anything they had done before. Frusciante's playing had evolved, focusing on textures and emotional weight over raw funk attack. The success was monumental. Scar Tissue won a Grammy and became an instant classic. The title track, an existential exploration of modern culture, is one of their most popular songs worldwide. The album sold over 15 million copies, making it their biggest success and proving that this quartet was more potent than ever. Their creative streak continued with 2002's By the Way, which was dominated by lush melodies and layered harmonies, featuring the enduring hits The Zephyr Song and Can't Stop. Then came 2006 Stadium Arcadium, an ambitious double album that perfectly merged the funk aggression of their early days with their newfound melodic depth. The Grammy-winning single Donny California became a signature track, cementing their status as global rock icons. But the story took another turn. In 2009, John Frusciante departed again to focus on his solo work. The band welcomed Josh Klinghoffer, a talented multi-instrumentalist who brought a different, more archaic aesthetic. Their two albums with Klinghoffer, I'm With You and The Getaway, were praised for their willingness to evolve. The 2016 single Dark Necessities successfully blended Flea's trademark slap bass with a modern, melancholy melody and became a major hit. Still, many fans felt that the band's definitive sound was missing. Then, in late 2019, the shocking announcement came. John Frusciante was rejoining the band. The Big Four were back together. The reunion was immediate and profoundly fruitful. With Rick Rubin returning as producer, it was a perfect storm of creativity and nostalgia. In 2022, they released Unlimited Love, a triumphant return to their classic sound. It was a perfect balance of slinky funk and soaring melody. Later that same year, they surprised everyone by releasing a second album, Return of the Dream Canteen, proving that the magic between these four men was real, undeniable, and in full bloom. Today, the Red Hot Chili Peppers continue to fill stadiums, performing with the raw, youthful energy that defined them in the 80s, filtered through the wisdom and maturity they've gained over 4 decades. Their story is a rare one in rock history, a band that has faced death, addiction, and countless lineup changes, only to continually return to its highest creative peak. It proves that the bond forged in a Los Angeles high school remains the driving, undeniable force of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from music history.